investment markets are full of fear and greed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what causes these things to go up and down. You got these investors over here who are scared. They're selling things to the people over here who are greedy and buying them. And, at any given time, those both can be bad decisions. And what's interesting is what you're describing is that a lot of that decision-making is being clouded by their emotions. And, there's a chart that I share with all my clients and really is kind of the backbone of my most recent book, Wall Street Lessons, which is, this whole idea of when stocks go up. Let's just say you're an investor, and maybe you're a new investor, maybe you're even seasoned. You invest $100,000 and a couple weeks later it's worth $120,000. The amount of confidence people get from that is startling. I see it all the time. Even though they know that stocks go up and down, there's a sense of confidence that happens right away when things go up.
Yeah.
And if they go up over a 6-month or a 9-month period, that confidence turns into something entirely different, which is, I'm an expert.
Right.
I'm the smartest investor in the world. And, and when I think of that, it sort of what it does is it inspires this greed. Like, if it went up this much, it's going to go up more.
Yeah.
And a confirmation bias, which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that emotional feeling of, wow, this feels so good, often overrides the information that's coming in that mountingly and increasingly suggests that is a bad idea to continue to own it.
Yeah.
And I usually find the more stocks go up in a general market rise, the more investors, even if they're not in it, think it will continue to do so. So when you have market tops, which happens from time to time, the market might go up for 5 or 6 years, and then all of a sudden it goes down 20 or 30%.
Yeah.
Those tops there is typically when most investors, that last year is when most investors put most of their money in the market.
That's fair.
So if you take the 3 or 4 years before the top, most investors were very hesitant. And that last year is when most investors invest, which shows you that that sense of it will keep going up, and if it's gone up this far, it will continue to. So that's why most investors invest at the top of markets, which is very difficult and is a big mistake, because what comes later is the market starts to go down.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think I've tried to help clients with, and maybe your work as well, is to keep a clear head when things go up, right? We all love it, but to look at logical reasons, can it continue to do so? What's really a problem, I think, and where we come in to help, and I think this conversation about knowing who you are and your triggers, is when stocks fall, or portfolio, let's say, values fall, investors have a tendency to say, it's down, it's temporary, it'll come back.
Yeah.
Right? That old, kind of, I'm a little worried, but I'm not going to do anything. And then it falls another 10%.
Yeah.
And then investors have a tendency to take it personally. So they say, well, that would be embarrassing to sell it after it's gone down this much. I'll hang in there, right?
Yeah.
And then it falls another 10%. Now they're down 30%. And I've seen this where investors, they don't want to look at their financial statements. They don't even want to look at it. They just want to sort of pretend it's not there. Basically what we call denial. And then of course, if they're down that much and it falls even further, that's when you usually get investors, we've seen this historically, panic sell. So now they're down 40%, and the news, the media doesn't help, saying, this is the worst market ever and the economy is never going to get better.
Right.
And then the investor sells everything, right? And that, what happens right after that usually?
Right.
The market goes flying up.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
all of these emotions I describe on this curve can be avoided by removing your emotion, right? That whole theory of, it's down, I'll wait for it to go back up, or not looking at it because it's so ugly. I think a lot of things you're saying and some of the tools we talk about can mitigate these wild swings and of course these horrible losses that
Right.
go see.